Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And it is the 11th of June already. How about that? And traffic looking pretty good. No major incidents on the roadways. The bus traffic and schools, of course, are out for the most part, other than summer schools. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it's a little bit lighter on the roadways. So that is going to be helpful. Although Miami-Dade is going to be very congested with the World Cup matches starting, with the U.S. apparently playing tomorrow. So that is going to be fun for sure. We're going to say good morning to Chuck Lysis Mason. He's with Take Stock in Children. Good morning to you, Chuck.
Hey, good morning, Michael. How are you?
Doing okay. Thank you. I hope you are well also.
I'm doing great. Thank you. Yep,
Yeah.
couldn't complain.
Good. By the way, isn't it about time for you to take some exotic trip somewhere, somewhere soon, somewhere far
Well,
away?
yeah, 2 weeks from today, I will be back in France. So yes, soon enough.
Oh, comment t'appelles tu?
Je m'appelle Charles.
Oh, okay, I'm not. That's all I got. Well, good. Well, it's well deserved, and Take Stock in Children keeps you busy all year long, no doubt about it. We have 700 kids in the school sessions, and some of those maybe Take Stock students, I'm sure, but also we just graduated a big class of Take Stock in Children as well.
Yeah, back in May last month, 69 students. We awarded them scholarships to the tune of about $2 million combined across the high schools in the Keys. And this year was unique because we, for the first year, included the Basilica School. We had a senior graduate from Basilica in Take Stock in Children, and also from the College of the Florida Keys Academy, their new school on CFK's campus. We had a senior who graduated. And not only did she graduate from high school, but she also graduated with her associate's degree as well. So she's well on her way to her bachelor's degree.
Oh, wow. Very exciting. Well, again, Take Stock in Children is what makes that possible for them to continue into the future and to build their educational foundation for their future. So you said, what was the number again for total scholarship?
69, the total value was 2 million.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do get matching funds from the state. Everything that we contribute here does get matched.
We do. So I purchased scholarships through the Florida Prepaid Foundation, College Foundation. So people might be familiar with Florida Prepaid. Anyone can purchase a scholarship for their child through Florida Prepaid, and it's like a 529 plan. If you're from another state, they have 529 plans where you invest, and that investment then goes towards your child's college education. But when you have a newborn, or even at any age, you can go onto Florida Prepaid's website and purchase a scholarship that will mature and be ready to be active when they graduate high school, and you make payments on that. But the Florida Prepaid College Foundation has a separate arm for nonprofits and for programs like Take Stock in Children, where they match dollar for dollar every fund that is raised. So I purchased these special scholarships. They're very similar, but they're half price for us, and the state matches those scholarships for us. And we buy 2+2 scholarships, which means 60 college hours at the college tuition rate and 60 university hours at the university rate. And we also purchase 2-year dormitory plans for our students who are going to the mainland and attending one of the 12 state universities and who need assistance with housing.
Chuck Lysis Mason, Take Stock in Children. You can find out more at Monroe County EdFound.com. So as we graduated another class, some of the mentors finished their duties, their obligations. Some of them will renew those obligations as well, as many have. What were you hearing as far as reflections from the various mentors in the program as they kind of wrapped up this school year?
Yeah, they're passionate about the program. They love being a mentor. They believe in the program, and they really connect with their mentee. So we do have mentors, volunteer mentors who meet in the schools on a regular basis, one day a week for about 30 minutes a week during the school year. So they do have summers off. So the kids are off and the mentors are off, even though I think some of our mentors still stay in contact with our kids over the summer to make sure that they're doing okay, with a quick text here and there. But Our mentors were really proud of our students, and the one thing that I love about our graduation ceremony is the mentors escort their mentees onto stage and hand them off. Then the mentors will sit down in the audience. The students will sit on the stage in their caps and gowns, and it's that final transition to post-secondary education or a CTE career pathway, whatever they may choose. And our mentors are just as I said, they're it's an emotional time. They've invested a lot of time in these students. Some of them have been with these kids since seventh or eighth grade. So it's been a long time. Some of the mentors will say, I need a break. I just need I've been doing this for 6 years. Give me a year off, but I'm going to come back after a year. Others are ready to dive right back into it. And, those of you listening, you may not know, but, your neighbor, I know your county mayor is a mentor. There are several other mentors, a lot of sheriff deputies, Rick Ramsey, Sheriff Ramsey and his department. They provide the most number of mentors. I don't know if you know this, Michael, but they provide the highest number of mentors in any one entity in the county. So if you look at all of the employers, if you will, the Aqueduct, the Electric Co-op, the Keys Energies, all that, Sheriff's Office is amazing. They provide the most number of mentors. But we also have FWC officers who mentor and a variety of different mentors, and also retired mentors who come down here in the wintertime, enjoy the beautiful Florida Keys for several months of the winter, and they're mentoring their kids. And then when they're up north and their northern home, they're doing a FaceTime mentoring with our mentor app that they can use in the beginning of the school year and the end of the school year. So they're committed, they love it, and we can always use more mentors as we go through the recruitment process that we're starting in August, actually.
Mm. Yeah, just circling back quickly on the mentor program and the mentor experience.
Mhm.
Take Stock in Children is based on financial need, but along with that financial need, there's probably emotional needs as well, I would think. And
Mhm.
as far as serving as a mentor, but also as a role model and as a friend going through those very difficult teenage times. Law enforcement, I can't think of a better role model necessarily. But the enhancement that happens through the mentor relationship and how that benefits the student is really hard to overstate.
Absolutely. And we do our best to pair up mentors and students of similar backgrounds and interests. So if I have a student who is interested in a particular field, a career pathway, and I have a mentor who's retired from that career pathway or is currently in that industry, we try to match them up so they have something in common that the mentor can guide the student through of what you need to know. And of course, what's exciting for the mentor is when the mentor went through high school and college back, how many plus years, 20, 30, 40 years ago, it's a different world today. So it brings up new conversations. How is artificial intelligence playing into this? And you have all these rich conversations about this is the pathway to medicine, whatever you choose to do. Because we have doctors who are mentors, surgeons, all the different researchers, the different aspects of medicine. Well, it might be a different pathway today than it was for them when they started out. And so it's an exciting opportunity for the mentor to also be in tune with what's going on today, learn something new, help the student along the way. And as you said, apart from law enforcement, we have mentors who are retired firefighters or current firefighters because we have students who are interested in firefighting, not only law enforcement, but other aspects. And then we also have electric linemen, we have diesel mechanics, nurses, you name it in those fields, even cosmetologists. And we have one student who wants to be a barber. So he's going to barber school and he wants to own his own barbershop, which is fantastic. It's a great thing. So and then we have some returning mentors too, Michael, who have been Take Stock in Children students themselves, and they're back in the county, and they've come full circle, and now they're mentoring students fresh out of college, and now starting their careers here. We have a reporter for the Key West Citizen. We have a gentleman who has his own mobile chiropractic business in Key West. We have a teacher at Coral Shores High School in chemistry and science, and on and on and on. So we have all these various mentors who are back in the county from Take Stock in Children as well.
Yeah, amazing. It is Chuck Lysis Mason, Take Stock in Children on Good Morning Keys. And as you just said, a number of the students in Take Stock in Children do come back to our community and contribute. So in that way, it's also a very sound investment.
Absolutely. I encourage all of our students to go to the mainland, get their education. A lot of them will start at the College of the Florida Keys, do their 2 years here. Some will do their 4 years because the college has 4-year degrees now. You can get a bachelor's degree through the college, but many of them might jumpstart the 2+2 pathway here in locally and then go to a state university on the mainland. About 60% of our students go directly to the mainland to a university, and I want them to experience life outside of the Keys. If they grew up here in the Keys, it's a microcosm, it's a unique environment, but they need to also experience what the mainland is like. And some of them, they find job opportunities and they move on, they stay up there. Others, they pull it's the tide that pulls them back down here. They want to come back to their community where that they love, and if they can find a job and housing, then they come back and they give back to their community and they enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, talk about too the parameters of qualification for Take Stock in Children students. You had mentioned the application process, registration, et cetera, that's coming up again. So talk about the criteria that makes one eligible for Take Stock in Children.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, your listeners are probably wondering, how do I, if I have a child, how do I get into Take Stock in Children? Well, it's for a limited group of students, so they have to come from an economically disadvantaged household. Basically, we have income guidelines for families to be eligible for this opportunity. Since the scholarships are matched by the state, there are some strings attached to those scholarships, and one of them is income eligibility. So they have to provide tax returns from last year. And we have a chart that shows the economic thresholds per household size, and they have to meet those. They cannot exceed the income cap of that household size. In addition, the student has to have a minimum of 2.0 grade point average, earned A's, B's, and C's in their previous classes, and maintain good attendance and behavior, and a promise to remain crime and drug free, and the willingness to meet with a mentor, because that is the program. We can't bring in a student who then refuses to meet with a mentor, since that is the basis of the program. So they have to agree to all of that. They sign a contract, and then when they come into the program, we do pair them up with a mentor, and they have to maintain that. So they have to maintain their grades, attendance, behavior. If income changes for the family, that's not a problem. Once you're in, you're in. I always hope that families can continue to grow and earn money and be successful. But we focus on the child at that point when they're in Take Stock in Children. But they have to maintain their grades, attendance, and behavior, and crime and drug free, and do all of the workshops that we provide for career and college readiness. And then when they graduate high school, they have access to, as I said, that 2+2 scholarship plus a 2-year dormitory plan if they need one of those for dormitory housing on campus in at a mainland school.
Mm-hmm. So the application period is now open.
Almost.
Okay. Yeah, explain that if you would.
Yeah, we're winding, since this is our well, it's not really a relaxed summer mode, because the month of June is wrapping everything up from the previous school year. So I'm in the process of wrapping up grants that we received, providing documentation on those the final grant reports, and getting ready then for next year. So we're working on all of getting everything in line, and then August 1, the application should be live. Students go back to school. I'm going to shoot in the dark here. I think it's a Wednesday. I want to say August 12th or 13th, somewhere in the early August. It's a Wednesday they come back. But I know my team is back on July 30 rather, and then we're in the office August 1st with the application that goes live. It is online. So parents can go to Monroe County edfound.com. That's edfound.com, Monroe County Education Foundation website. And on the website, we have a link to the information about Take Stock in Children. We have last year's criteria, as well as the income eligibility guidelines from last year. They won't change much going into this coming new year, so it should be relatively the same. And there is a button there for the application. It is not live yet, but it will go live on August 1st.
So we had 84 new students, I believe, enter the program last year. Is that right? I
Well,
think.
actually, that was an early number. That was our
Oh.
first round. And then during the year, we do have a rolling application process. So we ended up with about 110 new students, Michael. It was a
Mm.
tremendous year.
And overall, students in Take Stock and Children represent a pretty healthy percentage of the student population in Monroe County.
Yeah, our graduating class usually is over 10% of the class, and we are at four. We broke the 400 student enrollment mark in Take Stock in Children. So it is a significant number if you look at the grades, the enrollment of eligible students in grades 6 through 12 in Monroe County schools. And now, as I've said, we're also including Basilica as well because of the voucher system that the state of Florida has, where you can take your tax dollars and apply it to private school tuition. That opened up the doors for Take Stock and Children to serve private schools as well. So we have students at the Basilica School as well as Key West Montessori School. That's a private school in Key West, if you're unfamiliar with that. We also have some students at Key West Montessori.
And the upper keys are growing as well as far as involvement and enrollment.
Tremendously. We have several school sites in the Upper Keys, Key Largo School, Ocean Studies Charter, Plantation Key, Treasure Village Montessori, and Coral Shores High School. And we are well over 100 students up there. We're about 130 students in the Upper Keys, which is phenomenal. And I can't thank our funders and donors enough. Those on Ocean Reef Community Foundation, Keys Children's Foundation, in Ocean Reef. They provide significant funding for our program to purchase scholarships to fund the Upper Keys program, as well as the Rotary clubs, the Key Largo Rotary, the Upper Keys Rotary, and the Sunset Key Largo Sunset Rotary clubs are phenomenal in contributing to Take Stock in Children so we can purchase those scholarships and continue to accept those students who are eligible into our program.
Yes, Take Stock in Children. It is Chuck Lysis Mason with us on Good Morning Keys. And, again, the funding is so important. Private funding sources have been so generous here. Is there any state funding that comes to Take Stock in Children? We probably have said this before, but
Yeah, we receive, so Take Stock is a statewide organization and they have a grant from Tallahassee through the state legislature, about 7 million, I believe it is. And we get a portion of that. So there are 42 programs of Take Stock in Children across the state, encompassing all 67 counties. They're run individually by foundations or organizations. And we receive funds based on our previous last year's enrollment. So I receive funding from them based on my enrollment from last year, as well as performance funding because we are a top performing program and we get basically some bonus dollars for doing that as well. And that funding then helps offset the costs of our salaries and benefits for our team because I do have four coaches, a supervisor of student services, and myself in the program. So and we work within the school district as well. So we provide some of those funds to the school district to help offset the costs of our program. But we do get a little bit of state funding, but primarily, Michael, the scholarship funding is all private from not only Rotary clubs and other civic organizations, but individual donors as well.
mm. Well, and I also mention that just because the legislature and the governor have touted the latest budget for 2026, 2027 as being heavy on emphasis of education as a priority, et cetera. And hopefully the line item veto will not affect any of those priorities, especially when it comes to Take Stock and Children. But it sounds like most of the credit for Take Stock and its support comes from the local entities and organizations and individuals as well. So we want to continue to encourage that and thank them for the participation. And I'll note that it looks like over 70% of those students in the program do go on to earn a college degree. So that success rate is something to be lauded.
Exactly. And some, if you're listening, you think, okay, you have mentors and this is a scholarship program. What is really the bread and butter? What's the purpose of your program? And the purpose of the program is helping and preparing our students who are mostly first generation college bound students to be prepared to be successful in college and navigate the post-secondary experience. And it can be very foreign for some people who are unfamiliar with that. Not only the application process, but once you land on a campus and you're accepted, then navigating the daily life of getting to your classes and navigating the different offices, making sure that you're your tuition is being billed properly to Florida Prepaid, and they're not taking your FAFSA funds and to pay for tuition. And then how do you budget your money that's left over so you have enough money for books and other things? So we help them through that. We help our kids through that whole process. The mentor and the coach work in tandem to prepare our students to be successful, not only in middle school and high school, but also to be successful in college. And as you said, 100% of our students graduate high school. A good 99% of those students will go directly into college or university. Some of them will defer for a couple of years because they enlist in the military and they can defer their scholarship. And of those students who do enroll directly in university or college, 70% of those do earn a degree. They see it through the 2 to 4 years and sometimes 5 years to earn a degree, which if you look at the national average of the same demographic of students, that is about 20% of those students will actually earn a degree. 20 to 25% of those students will earn a degree, whereas ours are earning it at 70% thanks to the efforts of Take Stock in Children.
Well, we laud those, I'm going to use that word again, but those efforts and the results of Take Stock in Children. Chuck Leisters-Mason with us this morning on Good Morning Keys. So, Chuck, I think that's a pretty complete overview at this point, though, but is there anything we missed that we should highlight at this particular time?
I don't think so. I think if you're listening and you're interested in mentoring, please give us a call or send us an email. You can find us at monroecountyedfound.com. We're always looking for mentors. We cannot bring a student into the program if we do not have a mentor for that student. So I have to have two things: a scholarship for that student and a mentor. And the mentoring is you will love it. It is just 30 minutes out of your day for one day a week during the school year. You create these bonds with kids that are amazing. We have mentors who continue to stay in contact with their kids after graduation, after college graduation. We have mentors who have been part of these mentees' lives as they get married and start a family and a career. They're still there along by their side and helping them through that process. So definitely contact us, monroecountyedfound.com, or a quick phone number is 305-293-1546, 1546. So 305-293-1546. And love to hear from you. And we're in the process now of collecting names and getting mentors signed up, because we will have students coming into the program by end of October of next year. Once the application opens up, then we'll go through that process in September and bring the new kids in October.
Very well. Well, Thank you, Chuck, for all that you do and for Take Stock in Children, all of its efforts. The proof is in the pudding, so to speak. And again, it's such a worthwhile and valuable program here in our community that, helps with the future of so many individuals. And thank you so much for all that you do.
Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate it. It's a joy. It's been a pleasure. I've been doing it now since 2012, so quite a while. And it's a true joy to see these kids grow and see them come back into our communities and be productive citizens of our community. So, and thank you to you as well, Michael, for giving us the opportunity to share all of our wonderful things about Take Stock in Children on the airwaves. I appreciate it.
It is all great news and such positivity every time you come on. Thank you for all of that. We'll talk very soon, Chuck. Be safe and take care.
Yeah, you stay cool. Enjoy the summer. We'll talk to you soon.
You do the same. Take care.
All right.
Bye, Chuck. It is Chuck Leisters-Mason with us, Take Stock in Children on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. Still looks like no major incidents to report up and down US 1. We'll keep you informed of that all the way up through the 18-mile stretch up to the mainland for our friends listening all the way up in Homestead and beyond on 96.9. And we'll continue with more of Good Morning Keys for you in just a moment.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready.
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4-Star Rentals. 4-Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. Bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-Star Rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-Star Rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Historic Pepe's Cafe in Key West, founded in 1909, still does things the old way. Diachronic, if you will. How about fresh squeezed juices? Think how good that margarita or Greyhound will taste. Blue Point oysters shucked to order because oysters work better that way. Fresh breads and outstanding specials in an eatery that opened the same year Ole Evinrude invented the first outboard motor. And get a jump on someone's birthday and check out our retail offerings for some great gift ideas. Pepe's Cafe, Old Town Key West, of course.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And thank you, AJ, for that report from the newsroom. Just as I had said that traffic was looking good, we have 2 incidents being reported, so we'll keep you up to date on any changes there. It is 8:36, the 11th of June, and we say good morning to our special guest, is Mayor Michelle Lincoln, also County Commissioner District 2 for Monroe County, and good morning to you.
Hello and good morning.
Hi.
It's good to see you in person.
I know. I will make the mention that people can listen to and actually see this conversation once again at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. locally on Channel 27, which is Keys Living TV, also worldwide on Roku streaming and on the Keys Living TV app, which is available for your mobile device, free from your favorite download store. So we get a chance to say hello to the mayor and see her as well. Sorry to call you into action so early in the morning. It's not that early, but it's early to be up and around and in front of a camera. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that. And this changes the whole, you have the face for radio.
Yeah. It's the cat is out of the bag, so to speak. And I'm sitting here with my co-host, my new cat friend as well. But yes, it does give a new meaning to that. That's no longer the case. Well, anyway, and no one can accuse you of having a face for radio. So that being said, Mayor, we had a big day yesterday, and I am grateful that you are so chipper this morning because you had a long day yesterday, 9 a.m. to, past 4 o'clock, as the dais discussed a number of different issues.
You know, we did, and it was a long day, and we accomplished so much, and there's still so much to do. And I know that everyone is really interested in the governor's bill that he called the session together. So just as an overview for anyone, the Senate and the House met on June the 1st, and they adjourned on June the 3rd, on Wednesday. They debated on the floor for 3 days. There were a few amendments that were adopted by the chambers, and the one was they eliminated the trust fund. The second one is they exempt the schools from the homestead tax relief. And the third is they included Article 7, which was that category that added back into a use that you could use tax money for. They added that back in, that included the constitutional officers and government functions. So now we know what the bill looks like. And this will be voted on in November. If the bill passes, it will take effect for the 2028 budget. And I know there's been some confusion on that with people thinking it would go into effect right away, and it will not. So right now, what our county is doing in preparing for if this passes is we are looking at all of our mandatory and legally obligated programs, whether it is a county mandated, a state mandated, or a federal mandated program that we're required to pay for. So we're looking at those so we know exactly what we still must pay for. And then we're going to start with a list of non-mandatory programs that and services that could be considered to be included in the budget or eliminated from the budget. And we will be holding workshops because this is our community. So this is a decision that our community is making, and they need to make it as educated as they possibly can. So we will be gathering these facts. We also discussed the fact that this does include our constitutional officers, and it does include things like the Water Management District and the Mosquito Control Board. So when we have this workshop, we want all of our partners there so we can all start looking at what are our mandatory, legally obligated services and what are those that aren't, so that we can start looking at what we're going to be trimming from a budget. With all of that said, we will be doing that workshop probably in September because we're also required to do our normal budget for the 2027 year. And so we need to spend our energies right now on that because we're going to do our first budget hearing on July the 14th. Our budget meetings are all open to the public, and I can almost like beg people, could you please attend? Because it's one thing to sit and complain. It's something else to come to a meeting, learn, voice your opinion, and then be part of the moving forward of what we're going to do for taxes for 2027. Mm-hmm. I want to stop now and just say how much I value our employees that work for the county, whether they're a constitutional officer or whether they work for Monroe County itself, because they do so many great jobs behind the scene that no one seems to remember or understand. That includes taking care of our 22 parks and beaches, our 8 boat ramps, our 311 miles of county maintained roads. So not the US 1 highway that the FDOT takes care of, but all the roads that get you to your home every day. Our 26 county-owned bridges. Those are expensive to take care of. 3 courthouses that we maintain to make sure that our residents are close to where legal services are being provided. 4 community centers, the fire stations that we have, 9 of them up and down our 120-mile long string of county that is required to provide public safety, 5 libraries, and 4 government centers, as well as the buildings for the medical examiner, the state attorney's office, the public defender's offices, all of our constitutional's offices. So when people say, oh, you all can just cut your budget, I think everyone needs to understand that we are not like any other county in the state of Florida because of how unique our geography is, and that our functional population is 160,000 a day versus our residential population, which is 85,000. So I always want everyone to keep that in mind, and I want to thank our employees who have the job of maintaining the roads and our fleet management that take care of not only all of our vehicles, but the hundreds of sheriff department vehicles. So there is so much that goes into running a county efficiently and effectively. And I'm very proud of our staff who do a wonderful job.
Yes, ma'am. It's Mayor Michelle Lincoln. She is mayor of Monroe County. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And in keeping with thanking those employees, I did see Monroe County Board of County Commissioners proclaim June as Automotive Service Professionals Month. You mentioned the fleet of vehicles that it takes to run the county. And thanks to those automotive service professionals that were recognized by the Board of County Commissioners. So, Mayor, I know that there was a big concern when this first came out about the property tax reduction or elimination legislation as far as the local services and what could be spent or what was required to be, paid for, et cetera. And then there was a letter sent by you and the dais to clarify that, and you did get some clarification as a result, correct?
Oh, absolutely. They added the seventh category of uses for ad valorem tax, which included the constitutional officers, meaning our supervisor of elections. We can now still pay for that. That's a huge service. All of the constitutional officers, as well as veteran affairs, and as well as the guardian ad litem program, and also including the functioning of government. Those were all not in the original bill. That is why that letter was written. It was just to make the governor's bill better.
Okay. And things like I saw that recently we relocated the Upper Keys meal site for older adults. Those types of social services, are they going to be as part of the funding that, was mandated, or is that going to be outside of that purview?
So that is part of what we're looking at, because we are required by law to provide services for our seniors and human services. So some of those fall within the realm of unfunded mandates. And when I say unfunded mandates, that means something that the federal or state government has stated that we must provide, but they're not providing us the money to pay for it. So that's what an unfunded mandate means. And so we're going to be looking into that this early fall as to what that would include.
Well, further challenges ahead, no doubt about it. And there certainly are some murky waters, and it's somewhat vague coming from the state, but there are certain mandates that it looks like will be required to follow. However, this will go before the voters as a referendum, and it will seek a 60% threshold by voters to become law. Are you or are any of the commissioners getting any sense as to whether there's maybe and again, I only ask this because, I talk to policymakers and leaders in our community every day, and it's kind of split whether people are predicting whether this will pass or not, but it's so far it's pretty uncertain.
And that is going to be the way I think it will be until we all go to the ballot box and vote on it. And I am all for tightening the belt, and I am all for relief for all of our property tax payers. I'm also all for advocating for our home insurances to be reduced, because that is truly the kicker. But back to your question, I think everyone also needs to know that this is a statewide election. Yeah. So each county, it's not up to each county. Like we might have 80% of the people in Monroe County voting in favor. And if this does not receive 60% statewide, it will not go through. So I don't know how to say this gently, but we're a very small drop in the percentage of people who vote statewide. Our population of 85,000 votes, our 85,000 residents is nothing compared to the rest of the state of Florida. So this isn't really going to be decided by our county.
Yeah. Although we certainly we do need to make our voice heard, and I know you're going to continue to advocate for that, whether it's as the president of the Florida Association of Counties or as our mayor. It does seem like our percentage of homesteaded properties in this county is lower than it is on the statewide average, though, so that can factor into some of it if the homesteads are a bigger percentage of other counties, it would seem that they may be more in favor of property taxes as balanced by the cuts in funding.
Right. It'll be it'll be interesting to watch. And to clarify, as a county commissioner, I advocate for what the majority of our community wants.
Yes,
and that's exactly what I will be doing. However this bill comes out, however the election is what I'll be then advocating for our county.
Yes. And in the meantime, we're all seeking clarity and transparency, as is in the entire Board of County Commissioners. That's why we're going to have the community meetings. And really, education is most important, that people have an informed perspective prior to going to the ballot box. And I know that commissioners will continue to seek that end as we look at all angles of this and how it could impact our county, because it can have impacts, that's for sure.
We will, Michael. And we also discussed what we can do educationally wise, because we are not going to be advocating for or against. We are going to be educating, and we will be having on our website a click down box that will give more information as we learn more, so that, again, people have a way of reading the facts and not conjecture. So that will be up and running soon, hopefully.
Well, social media loves conjecture and opinion and controversy and all that kind of thing. We're just going to continue to try to bring out all aspects of the issues and to educate and enlighten people so they can make informed decisions. Again, it is Mayor Michelle Lincoln with us, Mayor of Monroe County. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. She, of course, is also Commissioner District 2. So moving away from the state for a moment to the federal level. Now, I talk with Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez on a regular basis, and she has mentioned about the federal efforts that had been made for acquiring funding and support from the federal level for the city of Key West. The same type of activity happens on the county level as well.
It does indeed. And so we had Greg Burns, who is our lobbyist, our federal lobbyist, with us yesterday, just to review some of our legislative priorities, federal legislative priorities. And top on the list was the FEMA reform and what is going on there with the FEMA reform, what it will do to the cost share, what it'll do for the limits on funds, what it is going to do for our individual assistance that we all want. And so we kind of discussed a little bit about that. We also discussed any type of our community funding projects, our national flood insurance, like we just touched on briefly with the wind insurance. The other aspect to that is the national flood insurance, Risk 2.0, and how that rate has astronomically grown over the years and how we've been fighting for a cap on that. So we kind of did an update on that. We also talked about the efforts to support Senator Ashley Mooney's bill for opposing offshore drilling and to protect our nearshore waters. And we also discussed the Army Corps of Engineers and the funding that we receive from them for our Keys Resiliency, a revetment program we've been doing, a road report plan we're doing, FQIP funds that isn't just for our county, but also for our municipalities on our wastewater systems, and Everglade restoration, which again is just so huge to us, and any benefit of improving the Everglades, that water rolls right back down to us. And so it's all good. And we always fight for that. Also, what we're doing with veteran affairs, what we're doing for some infrastructure law, and again, advocating for housing in Key West on the Naval Air Force Station base, because so much of the housing there had been lost. And it does not just affect the military, it affects their civilian employees as well. So just working all these federal rules and guidelines, and the money that we've been able to get through Congressman Jimenez with Twin Lakes and the Key West Airport and our coastal resilience, and money to do the Card Sound road improvements and the bridge improvement on Sugarloaf, and possibly some funding for Big Pine Community Center. So a whole lot of information, a lot of advocacy. You know, when we go to Washington, D.C., a few of us try to go up there every year, and we work with Greg, and we get to go and meet with our senators and our congressmen and really sit down at the table with them and their staff, who are key to all of this and moving all of these different items to the forefront of their brains and to the actions that they're going to take while they're in session.
Very well. Mayor Michelle Lincoln with us, Mayor of Monroe County, Commissioner District 2, also within your district, Big Pine Key, No Name Key, and we had some recent meetings regarding, it sounds like a complicated process, and it kind of is, but the expiration of the Habitat Conservation Plan and incidental take permit. I spoke with Emily Schemper about that. She provided some enlightenment to our listeners about that, but that will be a continuing process. All in the name of saving the key deer and 2 other endangered species.
Yes, that is true. And speaking of our federal partners, this is a federal mandated program that was led by the United States Fish and Wildlife Services in conjunction and collaboration with the Key Deer Refuge. And when this Habitat Conservation Plan was created by the federal government, it had an expiration date, and we requested that it extended a few extra years to cover the Rogos. And that expiration date has come upon us, and the federal government wrote us a letter stating that they want all of those protective measures to roll over into a biological opinion and to be implemented. So then we implemented it also in our Community Keys Living Plan for Big Pine and No Name Key. And we also put it in our comprehensive plan so that when anyone comes to get a permit from Big Pine or No Name Key, it will have to go through that entire review process that it used to go through with the HCP, ITP. So all of the protections are still in place. If the take exceeds what is in our mitigation bank, then we'll stop development completely and no more permits will be given. We've slowed that down to 4 Rogos per year in Big Pine. So all of those protections are still there. However, I will be presenting a resolution at our next county commission meeting imploring our United States Fish and Wildlife to continue to monitor our endangered species, which they are federally required to do through the Endangered Species Act. That is their responsibility, and I want them to come down and do another deer count. They haven't done one since 2019. So I am going to be having a resolution, and I think the commissioners will pass it with me to do that. And then I will be holding additional meetings in Big Pine, No Name Key, for the residents to continue to have the conversations with me on what additional protections they would like to see implemented in their area.
Very well. Well, we will look forward to publicizing those public meetings upcoming. Yes, I would say that the key deer do need us as advocates, as well as the other 2 endangered species, one of which is a rabbit that I've never encountered just yet.
A marsh rabbit and the indigo snake, indigo reef snake. I don't feel the need to see the snake, but I understand it is important. The marsh rabbits actually
they have rights too. Yes.
Yes, I know. They must be performing a function that is important. So yes, we want them. Interestingly enough, Commissioner Scholl his degree, I think he said, is in like zoology.
Zoology, it is. Yes.
And so he was discussing with us at our meeting yesterday the marsh rabbit and how now they have migrated all the way up through Cudjoe Key. So the species is doing well. Same with the key deer. They have migrated south as well. They haven't made it over the 7 Mile Bridge, but they have been migrating south. And so That was good news from our commissioner zoologist.
There is, however, they are still endangered. Yeah, who knew? Commissioner Scholl can talk to you about high-level military operations and then talk about the marsh rabbit at the same time.
I know. And we do want to protect our endangered species, all of them. And there's actually more than just the 3 that are incorporated into the larger biological opinion. So yes, it is our duty to protect our environment, and we take it very seriously.
Indeed. And, there's always the ongoing discussions about economic development and all of those issues versus quality of life and protecting our resources as well. And to that end, I did see Monroe County Artificial Reefs Program is preparing several upcoming reef material deployments on the Gulf side of the lower Florida Keys. And the sites will enhance marine habitats, create new recreational diving and fishing opportunities, provide waypoints for marine migration, and help relieve pressure on natural coral reefs. So again, to your point, ongoing efforts on the part of the county to protect our natural resources. And there's one example.
That is a marvelous one. That was, we were able to do that because of a $10 million grant we received from the state of Florida 2 years ago, and very excited. We have the one artificial reef was planted a year ago, and you can go out there now and there's already habitat growing on it and fish, and it's just so exciting. It does not take away from the importance of restoring our coral reef, but this is another tool in the toolbox to help protect our nearshore water and to keep our marine life vibrant in the waters.
Yes, very well. Well, again, Mayor Michelle Lincoln with us, also Commissioner District 2 of Monroe County, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. So with that, Mayor, I have kept you for quite a while here. You probably have meetings and phone calls to get to and the like, but is there anything else that we should mention at this time?
No, just everyone, please look at our website to get factual information about everything to do with our county, whether it's the Habitat Conservation Plan or what's going on with budgets. Our web page, our website is a plethora of information that's all factual. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call.
Yes, monroecounty-fl.gov is where you go to find out more, to get factual information, to remain informed and engaged. And we do ask all of our citizens to take part in all of these processes made available by the county, including the public meetings that we'll continue to talk about as they occur. So thank you, Mayor, for being here this morning. We look forward to seeing you on TV later today, and we'll talk very soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye now.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for all you do. It is Mayor Michelle Lincoln with us, and also Commissioner District 2 for Monroe County on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Well, we will bring you breaking news as soon as it happens to keep you constantly informed and engaged. Also, local, state, national news every half hour at least. Weather around the clock as well. Glenn Beck will be coming your way here shortly, followed by Clay and Buck at noon. Sean Hannity at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, Drew Steele and Florida's Voice. And then 6 o'clock, it is Mark Levin. 9 o'clock, Jesse Kelly, Coast to Coast AM overnight. And AUC with Dr. B coming your way 9 o'clock Saturday morning. So thank you so much for being here. We will return again tomorrow with more Good Morning Keys. Glenn Beck is next on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys.